My niece took my daughter's new tablet and said, "Auntie says I can have whatever I want." My sister nodded. "She's right. Your kid has too much anyway." I smiled, took the tablet back, and whispered to my daughter, "Pack your things." That night, I sold the lake house they'd been using for free family weekends when the new owners changed the locks. The moment my niece's hand closed around my daughter's brand new tablet, I knew something fundamental had just broken in my family. "Auntie says I can have whatever I want," Maya announced, clutching the device like it was already hers. She was 8 years old and so confident in her entitlement that she didn't even look at me for permission. My daughter Emma, also 8, stood frozen, watching her cousin walk away with the birthday present she'd opened 30 minutes ago. I looked at my sister Jessica, waiting for her to correct this, waiting for her to do her job as a parent and teach her daughter about boundaries and other people's property. Instead, Jessica shrugged. "She's right. Your kid has too much anyway. Maya never gets nice things like this. It's only fair." The living room went silent. My wife Claire's hand found mine. Emma's eyes filled with tears. She was too well trained not to cry. I smiled. The kind of smile I'd perfected in 12 years of police work. The smile that meant I was done negotiating. I walked over to Maya, gently took the tablet back, and handed it to Emma. "Baby, go upstairs and pack your things. We're leaving." Then I turned to Jessica. "And you need to pack too. All of you. You have 30 days to get out of the lake house." Jessica laughed. "What are you talking about? That's the family house. We've been using it for years. It's my house. I own it. And as of right now, you're no longer welcome there. You can't. I can. And I am." That night, I called a real estate agent. 2 weeks later, the lake house sold for $340,000. When the new owners changed the locks and found my sister's family still there refusing to leave, the police were called. I was working that shift. I didn't volunteer to take the call, but I didn't refuse it either. My name is Simon Reeves. I'm 39 years old, and I've been a police officer for 12 years in a small town in upstate New York. Most people see the uniform and think they know who I am. What they don't know is that before I became a cop, I inherited a lake house from my grandparents worth about $340,000. A beautiful 3-bedroom property on Lake George with a private dock and mountain views. For 8 years, I let my sister Jessica and her family use it for free family weekends. They'd invite relatives, throw parties, treat it like their personal vacation home. I never asked for rent or utilities. I just wanted my family to enjoy something our grandparents had loved. I never imagined that generosity would turn my sister into someone who thought she was entitled to my daughter's birthday presents. Let me back up to how we got to Emma's birthday party, because understanding my sister requires understanding how we grew up. Jessica is 3 years older than me. Growing up, she was always the favorite. Not in an obvious, cruel way, just in that subtle way where mom and dad's faces lit up when she walked in the room. Her achievements were celebrated. Mine were expected. Her problems were tragedies. Mine were character-building opportunities. When Jessica got pregnant at 19 with Maya, our parents rallied around her, set her up in an apartment, helped with childcare, paid for her to finish community college. She married Maya's father, Trevor, when Maya was 2. Nice guy, but not exactly ambitious. He worked in retail management, made about $45,000 a year. They struggled financially, but never seemed to think it was their responsibility to fix that. I went a different route. Joined the police academy at 21, married Claire at 24, bought a modest house in town at 26. When Emma was born a year later, Claire and I had already planned everything carefully. Budget, savings, college fund. We lived within our means. My grandparents died when I was 31, both within 6 months of each other. They left the lake house to me specifically. Not to both Jessica and me, just to me. My grandfather had always liked that I went into public service. Said it reminded him of his years as a volunteer firefighter. The will was clear and notarized. Jessica wasn't happy, but she didn't contest it. Instead, she asked if her family could use it sometimes for family time. I said yes. Of course I said yes. It was a big house, and we only used it a few weekends a year. Why let it sit empty? That was 8 years ago. What started as sometimes became most weekends. What started as asking permission became informing me they'd be there. Jessica started calling it the family lake house instead of Simon's house we borrow sometimes. She redecorated, changed furniture, painted walls, installed a big screen TV. When I mentioned that I hadn't approved these changes, she said, "Oh, come on, don't be like that. We're making it nicer for everyone." The bills piled up. Utilities, property tax, maintenance, dock repairs. I paid for everything. Jessica never offered to contribute. When I brought it up once, she said, "You make good money as a cop. We're struggling." I thought family helped family. There's that phrase. Family helps family. It's a beautiful sentiment until it becomes a weapon. Claire noticed before I did how much my sister was taking advantage. "She's using you," Claire said after Jessica's fourth weekend in a row at the lake house. "She's treating your property like hers, and you're letting her." "She's family," I said. "The house would just sit empty otherwise." "It's your house," Claire insisted. "You inherited it. You pay for it. You should be able to use it whenever you want without checking if your sister is there first." She was right, but I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to be the guy who pulled the rug out from under his sister. I didn't want family drama, so I let it continue. And every year, Jessica became more entitled, more certain that the lake house was hers by right of use, if not by ownership. Then came Emma's 8th birthday party. Claire and I had saved for months to buy Emma the tablet she wanted. Not the most expensive model. We're not rich, but a nice one. For $100. Educational apps preloaded, parental controls set up, a purple case she'd picked out herself. We threw the party at our house. 20 kids from Emma's class, pizza, cake, backyard games. Jessica's family came, Maya, Trevor, and Jessica. I was actually happy to see them. Despite everything with the lake house, I still loved my sister. I wanted Emma's birthday to be perfect. Maya saw Emma open the tablet, and her face changed. Not happy for her cousin. Just calculating. Wanting. After cake, after the other kids left, Maya walked up to Emma and just took it out of her hands. "Auntie says I can have whatever I want." Emma looked at me, confused. "Daddy." I looked at Jessica. "Tell your daughter to give it back." Jessica crossed her arms. "She's right. Your kid has too much anyway. Maya never gets nice things like this. You make good money. We struggle. It's only fair. It's Emma's birthday present. And Maya never gets presents like this. You could buy Emma another one. We can't afford this for Maya." "That's not my problem, Jessica. Family helps family, Simon." There it was again. That phrase. That weapon. Claire stood up. "Give Emma her tablet back. Now." Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I read every single comment, and it truly means the world to me. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the story. Jessica's face went hard. "You two are so selfish. You have everything. Nice house, good jobs, only one kid so you can spoil her rotten. Maya deserves nice things too. Then buy them for her," I said quietly. "But you're not taking my daughter's birthday present." I walked over to Maya, who was already swiping through Emma's new tablet, and gently took it from her hands. She started crying immediately. Loud, theatrical wailing. Jessica rushed over. "Look what you did. You made her cry." I took back something that wasn't hers. "You're so out of line. Simon, you've always been like this. You have to have everything your way. You can't share." Something in me snapped. Not loud, not explosive, just click, like a lock sliding into place. "Emma," I said calmly, "go upstairs and pack a bag. We're going to Grandma and Grandpa's for the weekend." "But Daddy, my friends." "Now, sweetheart." Emma knew my cop voice. She went upstairs. I turned to Jessica. "You need to leave my house." "Oh, we're leaving. Don't worry. Come on, Maya. Let's go to the lake house, where we're actually appreciated." "About that," I said. "You have 30 days to remove all your belongings from the lake house." Jessica froze. "What? The lake house is mine. I've let you use it for free for 8 years. That's over. You have 30 days to get your stuff out. You can't kick us out. That's the family house. It's my house. I own it. Check the deed if you don't believe me. Mom and Dad will never forgive you for this." "Then I guess I'll deal with that." Trevor, who'd been silent this whole time, put his hand on Jessica's arm. "Let's just go." "No." Jessica's voice was getting shrill. "This is ridiculous. Over a stupid tablet? You're going to destroy the family over this." "I'm not destroying anything," I said. "You did that when you taught your daughter she's entitled to other people's things. When you decided my generosity was your right. When you forgot that boundaries exist." "Simon." 30 days, Jessica. After that, you're trespassing." They left. Maya was still crying. Jessica was calling me every name she could think of. Trevor looked embarrassed, but said nothing. After they were gone, Claire hugged me. You okay? No, but I did the right thing. You did. Emma came downstairs with her packed bag. Are we really going to Grandma's? Actually, I said, we're going to the lake house. Just us. Our family. Like we should have been doing all along. That weekend at the lake house was perfect. Emma swam in the lake. We grilled burgers on the dock. I taught her to fish. No Jessica. No Maya. No drama. Just my family enjoying property that was actually ours. On Monday, I called a real estate agent. I need to sell a property. Fast. Sarah Kimball had sold houses in the area for 20 years. She took one look at the lake house and whistled. This'll sell in a week. Beautiful property. Great location. I can list it at $340,000 and will probably get multiple offers. Listed at $320,000, I said. I want it sold quickly. You sure? You could get more. I'm sure. She listed it Tuesday. By Friday, we had 3 offers. I accepted one for $335,000 from a nice couple from Boston looking for a vacation property. Cash sale, close in 2 weeks. I didn't tell Jessica. I figured she'd find out soon enough. Day 15 came and went. Jessica's stuff was still at the lake house. I drove by on day 20. Her car was there. They were using it like nothing had changed. Day 30 arrived. Closing day. The new owners, Mike and Laura Chun, met me at the lawyer's office. Papers signed, money transferred. The house was theirs. I handed them the keys. There might be one small problem. What's that? My sister's family has been using the house. They were supposed to be out by today. I'm not sure if they left. Mike frowned. Are they still there? Possibly. Do we need to get the police involved? I pulled out my badge. I am the police. If they're still there when you arrive, call the non-emergency number. Officers will respond and remove them for trespassing. Laura's eyes widened. Your own sister? My own sister who's been taking advantage of my generosity for 8 years and thinks she's entitled to property she doesn't own. They drove to the lake house. I followed in my patrol car. I was on duty anyway. Sure enough, Jessica's SUV was in the driveway. Smoke coming from the chimney. Lights on. They were having a family weekend. Mike called the non-emergency line. We just purchased this property and closed today. The previous owner's relatives are inside refusing to leave. We need them removed for trespassing. Dispatch sent 2 units. I watched from my car as my colleagues arrived. Officer Martinez knocked on the door. Jessica answered, smiling, then saw the uniforms and the smile vanished. Can I help you? Ma'am, these people are the legal owners of this property as of today. They're asking you to leave. There must be some mistake. This is my family's house. Ma'am, it's not. According to property records, this house was owned by Simon Reeves until this morning when he sold it to Mr. and Mrs. Chun. You need to gather your belongings and leave. Simon's my brother. He can't just sell the family house. Ma'am, he can. It's his property. And he did. You're currently trespassing. I got out of my car. Walked over. Martinez saw me and raised an eyebrow. Officer Reeves, this your family? Unfortunately, Jessica's face went from confused to furious. You sold it? You actually sold it. I told you that you had 30 days to remove your belongings. Today is day 30. You chose not to listen. I thought you were bluffing. I don't bluff, Jessica. I gave you clear instructions. You ignored them. Where are we supposed to go? We had plans here this weekend. Not my problem anymore. Officer Martinez, the owners would like the property cleared. Martinez nodded. Ma'am, you have 10 minutes to gather your immediate belongings and leave. Anything you can't carry, you can come back for tomorrow with 24 hours notice to the owners. This is insane. Mom and Dad will hear about this. I'm sure they will. Jessica, Trevor, and Maya packed their immediate stuff. Clothes, toiletries, Maya's toys. Maya was crying again. Trevor looked defeated. Jessica kept shooting me looks that could melt steel. After they left, Mike and Laura walked through the house with Martinez, documenting everything for the record. There's a lot of stuff still here, Laura said. She has 24 hours to arrange pickup, Martinez explained. If she doesn't, it becomes abandoned property and you can dispose of it however you want. Mike looked at me. Officer Reeves, can I ask you something? Sure. Why didn't you just evict her through the courts? Why sell? Because if I'd just evicted her, she'd have found a way back in. She'd have worn me down with guilt trips and family pressure until I gave in. Selling it meant there's no way back. The bridge isn't just burned, it's demolished. He nodded slowly. I get that. Family's complicated. You have no idea. I went home that night and found Claire in the kitchen. Emma was upstairs doing homework. It's done, I said. How do you feel? Lighter. Guilty. Relieved. Angry. All of it at once. Your phone's been ringing. I checked. 17 missed calls from my mother. 9 from my father. 23 from Jessica. Multiple texts, most of them containing words I don't want Emma to learn. I called my parents. Mom answered on the first ring. Simon James Reeves, what have you done? I sold my lake house. That was your grandparents' house. You were supposed to keep it in the family. I did keep it in the family. I kept it for my family, Claire and Emma, not for Jessica to use as her personal vacation home while I paid all the bills. She's your sister, and she's been taking advantage of me for 8 years. Today at Emma's birthday party, Maya took Emma's brand new tablet, and Jessica said it was fine because Emma has too much. That was the last straw. It's just a tablet, Simon. You could buy another one. It was Emma's birthday present. And no, I shouldn't have to buy another one because my sister can't teach her daughter not to steal. Dad got on the line. Son, this seems extreme. Dad, I gave Jessica 30 days notice to get her stuff out. She ignored it and was still using the house on closing day. The police had to remove her for trespassing. You called the police on your own sister? The new owners called the police. I just happened to be working that shift. Silence. You've changed, Mom said finally. You used to care about family. I do care about family. That's why I'm protecting my daughter from learning that it's okay to take other people's things. That's why I'm teaching her that generosity has limits and boundaries matter. Your grandparents would be so disappointed. That hurt. But I pushed through it. My grandparents left that house to me specifically, not to Jessica, to me, because they knew I'd be responsible with it. I was responsible. For 8 years, I let Jessica use it for free while I paid thousands in bills. That was generous. She turned my generosity into entitlement. That's on her. We raised you better than this. You raised me to be fair, to stand up for what's right. That's what I'm doing. Mom hung up. Dad stayed on the line. Simon. Yeah, Dad. I don't agree with what you did, but I understand why you did it. That's all I'm asking for. Your mother will come around. Eventually. And if she doesn't, then that's her choice. We hung up. Claire came over and hugged me. That sounded rough. Family is complicated. Your family is complicated. My family thinks you're a hero. I laughed despite everything. At least someone does. The next few weeks were quiet. Jessica picked up her remaining belongings from Mike and Laura with Trevor's help. She didn't speak to me, didn't look at me, just loaded everything into a U-Haul and left. My parents called occasionally, but the conversations were strained. Mom was clearly Team Jessica. Dad was trying to play neutral, but leaning toward understanding my side. Then something unexpected happened. I got a call from Trevor. Simon? It's Trevor. Can we meet? Just you and me. We met at a diner in town. Trevor looked exhausted. Look, he said, stirring his coffee nervously. I wanted to apologize. For what? For not standing up to Jessica. For letting her take advantage of you for so long. For not stopping Maya from taking Emma's tablet. I hadn't expected this. Okay. Jessica's been like this for a while. Getting worse. She feels entitled to things because she had a kid young and it was hard. She sees your success and thinks it's not fair. She doesn't see all the work you and Claire put in. I appreciate you saying this. I talked to her about the tablet thing. She thinks she was right. That Maya deserved it more because she doesn't have as much. That's not how the world works, Trevor. I know. I tried telling her. She won't listen. He paused. I'm thinking about leaving her. I wasn't sure what to say to that. I'm tired, he continued. Tired of the entitlement. Tired of the drama. Tired of raising Maya to think the world owes her things. I want better for my daughter than that. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. But I wanted you to know that I get it. Why you sold the house. Why you had to draw a line. You did the right thing. Thanks, Trevor. For what it's worth, Maya's been asking about Emma. She misses her cousin. Emma misses Maya too. But she doesn't miss having her toys taken. He nodded sadly. Yeah. We finished our coffee and went our separate ways. 3 months later, I heard through Dad that Trevor had filed for divorce and was seeking joint custody. Maya was going to therapy to work on entitlement issues. Jessica blamed me for that too. That was a year ago. Now Emma is 9. We've used the money from the lake house sale to set up a college fund that will fully cover her tuition at any state school. We took a real family vacation, Disney World, just the 3 of us. We bought a small camper and explore state parks on weekends. We don't have a lake house anymore, but we have peace. We have boundaries. We have a daughter who's learning that you can't just take things that don't belong to you. Jessica and I don't talk. Mom's still mad, though she's softened a little. Dad and I have lunch once a month, and our relationship has actually improved. Turns out standing up for yourself earns some respect. Trevor has Maya every other week, and he's doing good work undoing 8 years of entitlement conditioning. She's slowly learning. Emma and Maya have supervised video calls sometimes. Baby steps toward maybe being cousins again someday. I'm not sorry I sold the lake house. Not even a little bit. Because here's what I learned. Generosity without boundaries isn't generosity. It's enabling. And family doesn't mean you accept being treated poorly. It means you have higher standards for how people treat each other, not lower ones. My grandparents left me that house to enjoy, to share with people I loved, to create good memories. For 8 years, I did share it. But somewhere along the way, sharing became surrendering. Generosity became obligation. And my sister forgot that just because someone is generous with you doesn't mean they owe you everything forever. The lake house is gone. But my daughter learned something more valuable than any vacation property could ever be, that her father will protect her, that boundaries exist for a reason, that you don't have to accept being taken advantage of, even by family, especially by family. My grandmother used to say, being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. It took me 39 years and one stolen tablet to understand what she meant. Thank you so much for watching. More of my most gripping stories are already on your screen. Click one now and don't miss the best part. You will love it. See you in the next one. I've been thinking about Simon's story a lot, and honestly, it keeps me up at night sometimes. What really happened here? On the surface, this looks like it's about a tablet and a lake house. But it's really about the moment someone realizes they've been slowly boiled like a frog. Jessica didn't suddenly become entitled. She got there gradually, one free weekend at a time, one unpaid utility bill at a time, one boundary Simon didn't enforce at a time. By the time Maya grabbed that tablet, Jessica genuinely believed she had the right to redistribute Simon's wealth to her family. That's not evil. That's what happens when generosity has no limits. Simon's response was nuclear, and I think that's what makes this story so divisive. He didn't just take back the tablet. He didn't just kick Jessica out of the lake house. He sold it entirely, demolished the bridge, salted the earth. Was that proportional? I don't know. But I understand why he did it. He knew that anything less than total severance would leave a door open for Jessica to guilt trip her way back in. And he was probably right. The really sad part is the collateral damage. Maya lost her uncle because her mom taught her entitlement. Emma lost her cousin. Simon lost his relationship with his sister and probably permanently damaged things with his mom. Trevor lost his marriage, though based on his conversation with Simon, maybe he needed that push. Grandma's lake house, meant to bring family together, ended up being the thing that tore them apart. But here's what gets me. Simon isn't wrong that it was the right move. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone experience the consequences of their actions. Jessica needed to learn that taking advantage of people has costs. Maya needed to learn that you can't just take things. And Emma needed to see her father stand up for her. The one thing this story teaches: generosity without boundaries isn't love, it's enabling. And at some point, you have to choose between keeping the peace and keeping your self-respect. Simon chose self-respect. He chose his daughter. He chose boundaries. And yes, it cost him. It cost him family dinners and his mom's approval and probably a bunch of awkward encounters for years to come. But he gained something too: a daughter who knows she's protected, a wife who sees him standing firm, and the ability to sleep at night knowing he's not being taken advantage of anymore. The sophisticated move in family conflict isn't always compromise. Sometimes it's a clean break. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for everyone involved, including the person taking advantage of you, is to stop enabling them and let reality teach the lesson you couldn't. Here's what I want to know. Was selling the lake house too extreme, or exactly what the situation required? Because I genuinely can't decide. Part of me thinks Simon could have just enforced boundaries without nuking everything. Evict Jessica, keep the house, use it with his family, problem solved. But another part of me thinks he read the room perfectly, that Jessica would never have stopped, that family pressure would have worn him down, and that the only way out was to eliminate the asset entirely. What do you think? Was this healthy boundary or too drastic? Could Simon have handled it differently and gotten a better outcome? Or was this always going to end in either total severance or lifetime doormat status with no middle ground? And here's the uncomfortable follow-up. If you were Trevor, would you have stayed? Because he watched this whole dynamic for years and said nothing until it was too late. Is he a victim here or an enabler? Drop your thoughts below. I need to know how other people see this because I'm genuinely torn.